Right, people. So we're going to walk you through Seb, my client Seb, absolute legend. If you're watching this, mate, well done. Like, seriously inspiring guy with what he's achieved and the way he's achieved it, all the challenges that he had, which we'll go through today, and just a massive inspiration for people in the community at the moment in the program. So, yeah, when Seb reached out to me, this must have been a couple of years ago now. We had a call and he didn't actually take the plunge then, just had some reasons why he couldn't actually do it. So we'd already spoke 2 years ago. And then a year later, he maybe lost a few kilos, but he reached out, which would have been this November, December time. And he was stuck. He was stuck because although we'd spoken a year before, hadn't really made much progress. He found that, so go through this sort of stuff now, right? The things that he was struggling with was ultimately like he was putting in a lot of effort. He was trying to eat healthy. He was going to the gym and he just wasn't seeing the results that he wanted. He was seeing a little bit of fat loss, but he wasn't really getting anywhere. And obviously that's frustrating, right? There's nothing more frustrating than putting in work for something and feeling like you're not really getting out as much as you're putting in. That is seriously frustrating, especially for a lot of guys that we have trained that also are in the same position. So I can move this little thing out of the way. So that was one thing. The other thing was that he didn't feel confident with top off. Another big thing that a lot of our guys struggled with before is like that kind of friction. It's like maybe you're on holiday, maybe it's summer in the UK and you want to take your top off. Maybe you do, you just don't feel great doing it, or you have to think about it. Like imagine having to think about that. Imagine not having to think about that. You know, like imagine not having to worry about how you are perceived by other people, how you look, and how confident you are in yourself and your body. So like for him, that was a big thing, just not being able to take his top off and feel that person, feel like the person that he wanted to be, feeling proud of his actual body as opposed to just not actually liking it. The thing that made it so hard for him, and it still does now, is his work. So like he regularly works like sometimes 14, sometimes more in terms of hours in the day. He's driving a lot. He's, in London a lot, and it's draining. Sometimes there's night shifts, so like he'll get in really, really late. He'll off the back of like a 14, 16-hour shift, and he'll be absolutely knackered, right? And on top of this, he's a partner. He's got a son as well, like a really young son. So like as a result of that, it's a lot going on. And as you can imagine, you throw all that into the mix. Trying to get in shape now becomes this thing that is really, really tough because he's tired a lot. He's working a lot. He doesn't have as much time as most people. So when people tell me they haven't got a lot of time, I usually say, if you're working 9 to 5, you have. Like Seb literally didn't have that much time, and it was really tough for him to actually find a way of making it work. So the other thing that he mentioned was like it didn't feel like a lifestyle. It felt like this thing that he was doing, but he couldn't really seem to make things stick or make habits stick. So it was hard for him to be like really consistent for a long enough time to actually get the results that he wanted. And like I said, like he's got a son, right? So he wanted to like not only look amazing, lose fat, build muscle, get in a phenomenal shape. He wanted to set a good example for his son. He wanted his son to grow up and see that his dad was this guy that worked hard in the gym, this guy that was in decent shape, this guy that ate healthy. Like he wanted to set that example, and we've definitely done that. We'll go through that after. So what we did, and a lot of people say like the minimum effective dose. This isn't about not working hard. Seb has worked extremely hard. Like minimum effective dose is only effective if you're working hard at it. If you're training 2 to 3 days a week, but you're not working hard, you're not really going to get anywhere. But for him, setting the minimum effective dose, dialing in his effort was the key thing in the gym that made it easy for him. So instead of just saying you go to the gym 3 days a week or 4, we gave him a bit of a range. So like in the absolute craziest week, sometimes he'd only go to the gym once. A lot of times it would be 3 and sometimes it would be 2. So instead of having this fixed number where he felt guilty if he wasn't making it, it was like, right, craziest week, 1. Relatively okay week, 3. Pretty difficult week, 2. And this made it easy for him to just tick off a task, stack days, move forwards and progress his lifts in the gym. So that's what we did. So it made it a lot easier in his life to actually be consistent in the gym. Nutrition wise, like it looked fairly okay, but like again, the tough thing for him is like being on the road a lot, not having a microwave, like finding it tough to like always bring in meals at a prep. So like we had a bit of a mixture where some days he'd bring in prep meals and it was a strategy for that, which was really easy for him. Some days he just would literally go to the shops, he'd just buy something from Tesco, something ready to grab, and we just gave him guidance on like the calories, the protein, what those sort of options could look like. So basically we bulletproofed it, and he's always going to eat every day, whether that's him cooking or getting something from the shop. So now he knew that if he did either, he could get, he knew what to get. So it wouldn't stop him or trip him up when it come to his nutrition. And again, it allowed him to hit the right numbers and move forwards with his fat loss. The key thing, so two other things, is like we made it simple and easy to follow, and this is something we do with every client. Is like there's no point like you're not going to be able to stick to a plan that complicates your life. If you look at a plan, you say, how am I going to stick to that? It's obviously never going to work. So instead of complicating it and making it tough, we literally spelled everything out, his nutrition, his training. We made it really, really simple for him. So it's really easy to follow. And this is the key, right? When you've got something simple and easy, you can actually follow it consistently. You can get the results that you want. That's what we did for him. And most importantly, giving him support. Like, as you can imagine, there's a lot of days where he really, really struggled because he'd been working a really long shift. He was super hungry the next day. He's really, really tired. And then trying to get himself to the gym was tough. And it was just really, it was a slog a lot of the times. I won't lie. For him, more than other people, it was a really, really big slog. But he still did it. And how did that manage, right? How did he manage doing that? He had his partner, again, giving him a lot of support, picking him up when he needed it. And then he had me there holding him accountable, another shoulder to lean on, someone that he could bounce ideas off of and just chat to when things are tough, and we can just get him on the straight and narrow every time he struggled, realign him and get him moving forwards. Like, if he didn't have that there, he said, he would have fell off a long, long time ago. That for him was actually the biggest piece that allowed him to get to where he got to, which we'll show in a second. So what results did he achieve? Mental, like actually mental. Like, from going from putting in the work and not really getting anywhere, we made some adjustments, and now he's 16 kilos down, lost the body fat, built muscle, looking absolutely incredible. Imagine like not being able to be confident with your top off. Suddenly you're in a gym with 8 other people who are doing a photo shoot, and you can do that in front of a photographer. Like, that shows how much confidence he's built in his body, and he doesn't have to think twice about it now. There's not that lingering thought of like, do I look okay? Like, he can take his top off and feel proud of the way he looks. So that's what he achieved physically. He kept saying to me, like, he's built this lifestyle now, like, eating healthy for him is this thing that he loves doing, and it's not a chore, and it's like he can't see himself going back to the way he used to eat, just eating shit, really. Like, this is part of who he is, and that's the key thing, because our goal in the program is not just get people in shape, it's keep them there for life. I'm more than confident we can do that now, I've said, because he's built something that works for him and that he enjoys. And the last one, which is the most important one for him, being a role model for his son. His son, in terms of health and fitness, can now look up to his dad and see, like, yeah, like, my dad looks after his health and fitness, so and his mum does as well, so like, he's going to do exactly the same, right? What we're doing now that we've got him done in phase 1 of his fat loss, or in phase 2 and getting him out of the diet, phase 3, Seb's goals in a year's time, might even do another photo shoot. We're going to focus on building as much muscle as possible now, so he's going to have fun with it. We're relaxing things a little bit, so just focusing mainly on performance, fueling his body, taking this to the next level now, and seeing what he can achieve. I'm absolutely buzzing to see and show you guys what that looks like in, maybe a year's time or 8 months' time or so. So if you're similar, you're a guy in your 30s or near your 30s, you're tired of feeling uncomfortable in your own skin, you're not feeling proud of your own body, you're having to cover up, wear baggy tees, and you're not in the shape that you used to be in because life just got hectic, and now you can't stick to the easy plans you used to follow that had you in the gym 6 or 7 days a week when you were younger. You now need to understand that it's not about doing more, it's about doing things better. Like for Seb, he was already putting in some effort, and we didn't have to change a lot, we just made things a little bit better. That's what made the biggest return for him. So you just need something, like I said, that's simple and easy, something that fits for your lifestyle, something that doesn't complicate it. If something complicates it, you're never going to stick to it. You need something that simple and easy to follow, that complements your life and actually fits for you. What fits for Seb, might not fit for you, might not fit for the other client. That's why we create a system that works for you. Most importantly, we build the plan and coach you as the individual, and not make you fit into a system. So if that's something you need, if these are results that you want to achieve too, and you're ready to kind of reach out and chat about how this program works, we can have a relaxed chat, nothing too serious. Just drop me a message with the word Seb. We'll kind of see where you're at the moment, what you're struggling with, what you need help with, and then we can ultimately see if it's a good fit for you as well.